Hey, coffee and espresso lovers, AJ and Mark here from Whole Latte Love. And AJ, we're going to take a look at 5 coffees we might want to try in 2022. We're very familiar with them, right?
Yeah, we've got 5 of our favorite coffees from 5 of our favorite roasters. We picked 1 from each, and we're going to go through all of them here. When we were doing we've tasted these a bunch of times, but when we were doing our tastings for this video, we dialed each one in individually, about 18 grams in, 36 grams out, roughly 25 to 30 seconds. And to do that, what did we use for the grinder?
So we've got the Chiato E5 SD. This is a single dosing grinder. Like this one, 63 or 64, I always forget. 64 millimeter burrs on that one. Single dose, so you just dose in the top and you grind only what you're going to do. Really nice because it keeps us clean as we go through the different coffees. We use some precision tools too, Bravo distributor and tamper here. We want to be just as accurate as we can. You can't mess it up with these. Akaya scales, different weighing cups. We did some RDT on the beans when you're single dosing. And then the machine over here.
We've got the Profitec Pro 300 here. It's a really compact, affordable dual boiler machine by Profitec. We use it all the time and
yeah,
it's great.
If you're looking for an affordable, compact dual boiler, Pro 300, really nice way to go.
Yeah. So as we talk about our different beans here, we'll go down the line one by one, starting at the least expensive, working up to the most expensive. And as we kind of tell our thoughts on it, we'll also show the extractions that we filmed while we were recording and tasting these.
Right. And I'm starting out with the Orphea, right?
Yep. One of your favorites.
Okay. I've been drinking. This is Maromas Orphea. Been drinking it for a very, very long time. This is like my everyday, easy to use, tastes great, doesn't cost a lot kind of coffee, right? And we should mention that through the end of the year, these are coffees, you can get them now, but if you're looking for something to try in 2022, go for it. But through the end of the year, through the end of 2021, use the code BEANS10 when you check out. You get 10% off any of our whole bean coffees.
Yep.
But let's talk about the Orphea. So the Orphea, this is an Arabica. It's a classic Italian style bean blend, but it makes what I often call buckets of crema. Because it's just so easy. It always makes it, because it has a very special double washed Robusta coffee in there that really helps with that. It's a coffee, it gets fantastic reviews from customers, very affordable. Not the coffee that you would pick if you were going to do latte art though, right?
No, so because this produces so much crema, I find it actually it tastes great in milk drinks, but it's kind of hard to pour into sometimes because that crema layer is so thick on top.
Right. And a lot of people love the crema. I do too. But this is a great everyday coffee. What else do we know? No real bitterness in this one. That Robusta that's in there, you're going to find that in a lot of the classic Italian bean blends, but a very special double washed in this one that sets it apart maybe a little bit.
Yeah, and I find it has a really nice kind of smooth chocolatey taste to it. It's bold without being overpowering, and as you mentioned, not bitter, which is great.
Yeah, and like a lot of the old Italians, they dump the sugar in their espressos. You don't do that so much here in the States, but at all, I never do.
No.
But this is a coffee you don't have to cut with the sugar at all.
Yep. And moving on to the next one here, we've got the Whole Latte Love Crema Wave. This is one that we've paired up with local roaster Joe Bean. They're award-winning roasters right here, local in Rochester, New York. 100% Arabica, all specialty beans. And these, they're similar in style, the Orphea and the Crema Wave.
Yeah.
But because this is roasted locally, we can get it produced more often, a little fresher out to customers, and you can really taste that difference.
Yeah, where the Orphea is going to be roasted lots and lots of beans at a time, right? This is micro roasted locally. Again, very special. It's specialty grade. Roasting it every, as it's needed, every 3 to 4 weeks, that kind of thing. Maybe sometimes more often, maybe sometimes not so much. But really good, all specialty grade beans. You don't get that in those classic Italian style bean blends. You don't get the specialty grade beans always. And being roasted locally, it's a lot fresher. And I like both of these coffees, but when I do the Crema Wave, you can really taste the freshness just a little bit. Just gives it that little,
it's got a little brightness to it. You can kind of taste just that brightness up front. It's got tasting notes of honey and almond. I think this is a great all-around coffee. I will pour latte art into this one. It does still produce a ton of crema, but I can find it mixes in well with milk. It's great for espresso, but it's also great for milk drinks.
In this one, we've been getting great reviews. Oh, I should mention, all the coffees that we have up here today have better than 4.5 out of 5-star reviews. So, Crema Wave, give that one a try. People are loving it.
Excellent.
I'm going to move on to the Coffee Mio Special Blend. Now, this is one I just started drinking recently. And what I really like about this one, first, it's roasted in Australia. And if you're into specialty coffee, you know the specialty coffee scene in Australia is huge, especially around the Melbourne area, and probably other parts as well. But this special blend, what I really like about this is just the creamy mouthfeel. It's a very easygoing coffee. Nothing really sticks out about this, but except for me, just really creamy in the mouth. Really, really nice.
Yeah, it's a medium dark roast, so maybe a little darker than the others here. You can taste the roast a little more on this, I think, too. So if you like dark roasts, maybe coming from like a Starbucks or something like that, this will be way better. I mean, It's smoother. You can taste the roast, but you can also still taste the beans in it, what you're supposed to taste from the actual origin, and it's nice.
And when you mentioned the Starbucks there, if you like that, it's not going to be like that super dark roast.
No, not at all.
What Starbucks?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
And all of these too are safe to use in super automatic machines too. We recommend not using dark, oily beans in those. All of these are completely fine, safe to use.
And we're showing them as espressos, right? But you can definitely do Americanos, long coffees in a super automatic machine, or regular drip coffee even. The flavor characteristics of the beans really doesn't matter the brew method. You still get those same flavor characteristics. And there's always this misconception about, I need to get some espresso beans, right?
Yeah, no, it's all coffee beans. They're all the same.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, some things may be roasted specifically to work better in espresso, but there's no specific espresso beans.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You take the next one.
Yeah.
Here.
So
I know you like this stuff.
Yeah. Next up is Carraro Tazza Doro. This is one of my favorite beans. It's kind of my daily driver go-to. It's 90 to 10% Arabica to Robusta. Tastes super fresh. Definitely more brightness on it than the rest of those. Maybe Crema Wave's somewhat similar, but I taste a little more sweetness, but also a nice a blend of kind of chocolatey, nutty flavors in there as well. It kind of spans the spectrum of a nice round espresso.
Yeah, it makes it really nice. I know you like it as the Americanos too, right? And you're fine with pouring latte art into the Tazza?
Yeah, I think, as you'll see as we're showing the shot here, it probably produces the least of the crema of the bunch, but that's not a bad thing. Just because you see more crema, that doesn't mean it's a better shot.
That's right.
So it tastes great. It works great as espresso, Americano, milk drinks, easy to pour latte art into, and I love it.
And we should say that's another misconception that you have to have lots and lots of crema to have a good espresso. That's not the case at all. Some do more, some do less.
Yeah, totally.
So let's go over to something completely different. We're going to go specialty, high-end, high-grade coffee. We're going to talk about the Fuego Ethiopian Yirgacheffe over here. This one we got, it's just 2 weeks from roast right now. And if you've never had one of these high altitude single origin coffees like the Ethiopian Yirgacheffe, it's a completely different experience, right?
Yeah, this one, although it is technically a medium roast, it has a lot more of the flavor characteristics of a light roast. It's a little more acidic, a lot brighter, more fruit forward. You get those notes of tropical fruit, pineapple in it. Nice and sweet, nice and light body. It's delicious.
Yeah, I get a little blueberry from this, and the really fun thing is when you grind this, you still get the coffee smell that everybody loves so much when you're grinding coffee fresh, but you also, you honest to God, you smell the fruitiness of the coffee when you're grinding it. It's very, very fresh. Again, another little tip here, right? We talked about altitude. This is a very high altitude coffee grown, average about 2,000 meters. What's that, like, do some math, 6,000 feet for us in the U.S., something like that. So that's up high. But notice when you look at a coffee like this, what really concentrates the flavor is that high altitude growth, because it's a little colder up there, right? So the beans are growing a little bit slower and concentrating the flavor. And you'll see this coffee is much more dense. The beans themselves are smaller than a lower altitude coffee. And harder when you grind 18 grams of this as opposed to 18 grams of something like the Orphea. There's going to be a lot less in your filter basket.
Yeah, and that's where a high quality grinder really comes into play. And the E5 SD that we used to grind these held up completely fine, perfectly for even the more smaller dense beans.
Yeah, some grinders, lower power grinders, might have a little bit of trouble with those really, really dense beans. So, so 5 coffees to try, and kind of like opposite end of the spectrum. If you've been drinking, like a Lavazza Super Crema forever, or some other, classic Italian bean blend, maybe branch out and try something just completely different. It may not be your thing. You got to try. It's like wine.
Yeah.
I don't like sweet wines, and I prefer really dry. But some people really like it. So, and there's so many different flavors in coffee. But if you never try them, you're never gonna know.
Right. Exactly. And we've got all these coffees available at Whole Latte Love, but also a bunch more. And we've drank them all. So if you have any questions about these or any of the other ones on the site, feel free to ask in the YouTube comments, and we'll get you answers.
So try something new in 2022.
With the Beans 10 code in 2021.
Until the end of 20, and you get 10% off any of the coffees here. And of course, like you said, we're more than happy to give you advice down in the comments if you're looking for something particular. So I guess that wraps up our look at the 5 coffees to try.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for watching. If you love this stuff, be sure and come on back soon. Oh, subscribe, of course.
Yes.
And come on back soon for more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you by Whole Latte Love.